Alright, I grew up in a home where my mom had just learned about Adventism and she wanted the best for us, so she started taking us to church when we were little kids. And my father, he was just along. He just went on with everything. So as we were growing up, there was one thing that my mom always used to do is make us go with her knocking on doors to give out magazines. So that was something I never enjoyed because I didn't like seeing the people's faces when they would be like, "Oh no, we don't want it." So I decided, yeah, I'm not doing that. I'm not knocking on doors. I'm not passing out magazines. Well, later on, I end up here at Wilmar, and I meet some friends that they like to pass out glows wherever they go, in the store, or like when they see a homeless guy standing on the side by a stop sign, they'll be like, "Oh, get the glow!" And I'll be like, "Lord, please don't let them find the glow." And every time, sometimes my prayer would be answered, which was interesting. I don't understand why. And then there'd be times where we would end up there for a long time having a conversation, or people would be like, "No, we don't want it." I'd be like, "See, this is why we don't pass out glow. They don't want it." Well, one day my family came to visit. We attended a church, and during a break, we were sitting outside, and we had nothing to do. And some friends, they came up with an idea. "Hey, let's pass out glow in the park." I was like, "Oh, you know what? I want to go inside the church and read the Bible, find something to do." But then, for some weird reason, I stayed, and there was a lady passing by and her husband on a bike, just with the groceries, and they were just walking. They looked all upset. And my friend went up to them, and she was going to pass them a glow. And their reaction to it was like, "Oh, no, 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 we don't want it." And she kept walking. I was like, "See?" And then the man turned around and was like, "Oh, I'll take it." So he took the glow, and they kept walking. Later on, I was like, "Oh, well, I guess the guy took it." And so we went inside the church, and we were starting to just sing and talk about how our Sabbath went. So while we were talking about our Sabbath, the lady that had told us, "Oh, I don't want anything to do with it," she comes back inside, and she's like, "I'm really interested on what you guys are doing." Said, "No one just comes up to me with the magazine and just wants to give me something to read. I just passed by this other church, and they were asking us for money, and I don't have money." And so she decided to come sit down with us, and we started talking and asking her how her day was. And when we were talking about how her day went, she started telling us about her life and how she had just been in an accident, and she had just had a baby. And the car hit her and the baby flew up, and the baby ended up dying. But one thing that got my attention was the fact that she was praising the Lord, and she was so thankful that even though her son had died, that she knew that it was best that because he would go to heaven and that she would have a chance to see him in heaven, and that he wouldn't have to live the life that they had because they hardly had money. They were living pretty much on the streets, and now her son didn't have to go through that, and she was praising the Lord for that. And we asked her, "Where's your husband that took the glow?" She said, he said he didn't want to come inside. He wasn't interested. And that really got me surprised, because the fact was he took the glow. She didn't take the glow. And I was like, well, okay, that means that even if they may not take the glow from me, we have sparked an interest in them and have planted a seed inside them. And who knows, they may come and learn something. So while we talked, we got to give her Steps to Christ, some other books she took with her. And it taught me a lot about how, even though I may be like, "Oh, they shut the door on my face," or like, or I see they don't appreciate it, I learned that it's not something that I need to worry about, and that even though that may happen, that there's a seed planted inside them, and if one day they're gonna learn about God, because everyone is gonna get a chance. That's it.